Morning, the very first moments of your day set the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up, reach for their phones, scroll through messages, news and social media, and then rush into the chaos of life without even realizing that they have handed over the first hours of their day to stress, fear and distraction. But there is another way, a higher spiritual way, that can transform not just your day but your life. And it all begins with the power of a spiritual morning start. Imagine beginning your day by deliberately turning your heart toward God, by inviting His presence into the first thoughts of your mind, the first words from your lips, and the first decisions you make. This is what Dr. David Yonggi Cho emphasized throughout his ministry. The first few minutes of the morning are sacred, they are powerful, and they are full of opportunity. When you align yourself with God first, you are not leaving your day to chance. You are declaring that you will face your challenges not in your own strength, but in the power of God. Now I want you to picture this. You wake up before the world stirs, before the phone rings, before the responsibilities start piling up. You sit in silence, close your eyes, and begin to pray. But this is not a prayer of desperation. It is a prayer of expectation. You speak words of faith, believing that the God who parted seas, healed the sick, and multiplied blessings in the lives of His children is present for you today. You affirm His promises over your life, your family, and your work. You declare that today will be filled with purpose, clarity, and victory. There is a profound power in doing this consistently. Dr. Yonggi Cho taught that your day does not have to be dictated by the circumstances around you. You can choose the atmosphere of your day. You can choose peace over worry, faith over fear, and blessing over lack. When you start your morning in prayer, you are like a captain setting the course of a ship. Every decision, every thought, and every action that follows will flow from that initial moment of spiritual alignment. Many people wonder why they feel overwhelmed, tired, or anxious as soon as their day begins. Truth is, the first moments of the day are often the most vulnerable. If your heart and mind are not anchored in God, you are immediately exposed to stress, negative thoughts, and the pressures of life. But when you dedicate those early minutes to God, you create a shield around yourself. You set the foundation for your day to be filled with wisdom, patience, and divine guidance. You are not just praying, you are activating a spiritual force that will influence everything you do. The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't require hours of meditation or complicated rituals. It can be as simple as opening your heart in gratitude, speaking God's word over your life, and asking for His guidance. And when you do this day after day, something remarkable happens. Your mindset begins to shift. You no longer wake up in fear of what might go wrong. Instead, you wake up in faith, expecting God's goodness and ready to receive His blessings. Your mind, which was once clouded with worry, becomes a place of clarity and peace. Your spirit, which may have felt weak or burdened, becomes strengthened and empowered. Dr. Yonggi Cho often reminds people that the first moments of your day are like seeds planted in fertile soil. If you plant seeds of doubt, negativity, and anxiety, that is what will grow. But if you plant seeds of faith, hope, and gratitude, you will see fruit in every area of your life. Your relationships, your work, your health, your finances, they all begin to be influenced by that simple act of starting your day in prayer. The power of a spiritual morning start is not just theoretical, it is practical, tangible, and transformative. When you make this a habit, you will notice a change in how you respond to challenges. The difficulties that once seemed insurmountable will no longer shake you. You will approach your responsibilities with wisdom and calm. Opportunities that may have gone unnoticed will become visible to you because your eyes are open, not just physically but spiritually. You are aligned with God's purpose, and when you are aligned with God's purpose, nothing can stand against you. The key is consistency. One morning of prayer may not feel life-changing, but the cumulative effect of daily spiritual alignment will transform your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Each morning becomes a launching pad for victory, a foundation for peace, and a moment to connect with the Creator who loves you and desires your success. Starting your day in this way is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who wants to live a life of purpose, power, and blessing. Every day, each of us faces challenges, obstacles, and pressures that try to steal our peace, our joy, and our focus. From the moment we open our eyes, the world can feel overwhelming. But what if I told you that there is a way to break these struggles before they even begin? That is exactly what Dr. David Yonggi Cho taught. The incredible power of starting your day with prayer, faith, and intentional spiritual alignment. It is not just about coping with life. It is about declaring victory before the battles even arrive. Think about it for a moment. Many people wake up and immediately feel the weight of everything that must be done. Bills, deadlines, family responsibilities, problems from yesterday. They all hit at once. The mind begins to race. Fear creeps in, and stress starts to dominate. By the time most people take their first step out of bed, their day is already controlled by struggle, worry, and anxiety. But Dr. Yonggi Cho showed us a different path. He taught that if we start the morning with focused, powerful prayer, we can take control of our day, our mind, and even our circumstances. When you pray first thing in the morning, you are not just talking to God, you are declaring that He is the source of your strength, your guidance, and your protection. You are saying that you will not allow fear, doubt, or stress to rule your day. You are intentionally breaking the power of struggles before they have a chance to take hold. Prayer is not just a request, it is a spiritual weapon. When you speak God's word aloud over your life, you are activating His promises. You are setting up a shield of faith that blocks negativity, conflict, and disappointment from infiltrating your day. Dr. Yonggi Cho often reminded his followers that spiritual battles are real, and they are fought in the mind and heart first. Many people blame circumstances or other people for their struggles, but the truth is, the fight begins inside. By addressing it first thing in the morning, you gain the advantage. It is like being a general preparing for battle. You do not wait until the enemy is at your doorstep to act. You prepare, you strategize, and you position yourself for victory. When you start the day in prayer, you are positioning yourself in the place of power. One of the most remarkable things about this practice is how it transforms your perspective. When you begin with prayer, challenges do not seem so daunting. The bills are still there, the deadlines are still real, the problems are still present, but now you face them with peace, clarity, and divine guidance. Your heart is not anxious, it is centered. Your mind is not scattered, it is focused. And your spirit is not weak, it is strengthened. You are not reacting to struggles, you are controlling them. Dr. Yonggi Cho emphasized that this is not a one-time effort. It is a lifestyle, a habit, a spiritual discipline. Every morning, you have an opportunity to declare that the day will be under God's authority. Every morning, you can speak words of faith that dismantle fear, cancel doubt, and silence anxiety. Every morning you can break the power of struggles that would otherwise dominate your life. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. It is not a struggle to pray, it becomes a source of strength. Your spirit becomes alert, your mind sharp, and your heart joyful. Prayer in the morning also has a supernatural effect on the unseen. Dr. Yonggi Cho taught that spiritual realities exist beyond what we can see. And when we engage in morning prayer, we are influencing those realities. We are speaking into existence the protection, guidance, and provision of God. The struggles that would have come your way often dissolve before they even appear. Opportunities that were hidden become visible. Doors that seemed closed open. And peace, the kind of peace that surpasses understanding, fills your life. When you make it a habit to break daily struggles before they begin, you are not just improving your day, you are transforming your life. Each morning becomes a battlefield won before it is fought. You begin to notice that the stress, frustration, and pressure that once dominated your life no longer have the same power. You respond with wisdom rather than panic, with patience rather than anger, and with faith rather than fear. The simple act of dedicating your morning to prayer and spiritual alignment becomes the most powerful decision you can make, because it sets the tone for every hour that follows. Faith is not just a word, it is a force, a key, and a gateway into the supernatural. Dr. David Yonggi Cho often reminded his followers that God's promises are not distant or unreachable. They are present and active, waiting for us to claim them. And there is no better time to unlock these promises than in the first moments of your day, when your heart and mind are most receptive, when your spirit is ready to align with God's will. Starting your day in prayer is not simply a ritual, it is an act of unlocking the abundant life that God has already prepared for you through His promises. Imagine waking up every morning and speaking about life over your day, over your health, over your relationships, over your work, and over your finances. When you declare God's word aloud, you are not reciting empty phrases, you are activating the spiritual power that is contained in His promises. Dr. Yonggi Cho taught that faith is like a key. It unlocks doors that human effort alone cannot open. Every promise of God has power to bring transformation, but faith is the mechanism that allows it to manifest in your reality. When you start the day in faith-filled prayer, you are literally opening the door for God's blessings to flow into your life. Many people wake up and focus on what they do not have. They see challenges, debts, limitations, and problems. Their hearts are heavy and their minds are clouded with worry. But when you start your morning with faith, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to expectation, and from uncertainty to confidence. You are telling God, I trust you. I believe your word. I received your promises today. That simple declaration has the power to change everything. It shifts the atmosphere of your day, it strengthens your spirit, and it prepares you to recognize and seize the opportunities that God is placing before you. Dr. Yonggi Cho often shared that God's promises are not passive, they are living and active. When you speak to them, when you claim them in prayer, they begin to work in your life. It is not about magic words. It is about faith-filled words that are aligned with the truth of God's word. Every morning, when you affirm His promises, you are connecting yourself to a higher power that guides your steps, protects your family, and provides for your needs. You are not waiting for blessings to come. You are stepping into them because faith moves mountains and faith activates miracles. One of the most powerful aspects of unlocking God's promises in the morning is the mindset it creates. When you start the day claiming God's provision and protection, your mind no longer dwells on fear or doubt. Your thoughts become anchored in hope, clarity, and purpose. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities for God's intervention rather than as reasons for despair. The promises of God become the lens through which you view your entire day. You are no longer reacting to circumstances. You are responding from a place of divine assurance. Faith is also contagious. When you begin your day grounded in God's promises, it affects every interaction you have. Your words, your actions, and even your energy reflect confidence and trust in God. People around you notice it, and the way you influence your environment changes. Just as Dr. Yonggi Cho taught, faith is a spiritual magnet that attracts blessings, guidance, and favor. The moment you begin to speak God's promises into your life, Each morning, you set in motion a chain reaction of divine intervention that touches every aspect of your existence. But unlocking God's promises is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment. Each morning is a fresh opportunity to stand in faith, to declare His truth, and to invite His presence into your life. The consistency of morning prayer is what transforms ordinary days into extraordinary experiences. The promises of God do not fail, but faith must be exercised. When you consistently begin your day by unlocking God's promises, you will notice doors opening that were once closed, problems resolving in unexpected ways, and blessings manifesting that you could never have planned for yourself. Dr. Yonggi Cho's message was clear. God's promises are not just words in a book. They are living realities that can change your life today. But the key is faith. When you start your morning anchored in God's word, claiming His promises, and speaking life over your day, you set the stage for supernatural breakthroughs. You position yourself to receive guidance, provision, protection, and peace. The first moments of your day become the most powerful moments because faith is now active, God's promises are now unlocked, and your life begins to transform from the inside out. Your mindset determines the outcome of every moment, every decision, and every challenge you face. Dr. David Yonggi Cho taught that victory begins in the mind, long before it manifests in circumstances. When you wake up in the morning, your thoughts have the power to either create opportunity or invite defeat. That is why shaping your mindset for victory through prayer is not just important, it is essential. It is in those quiet first moments of the day, when the world is still and your spirit is alert, that you have the greatest ability to influence your mindset and prepare yourself for triumph. Many people allow external circumstances to dictate their thoughts and feelings. A late bill, a stressful conversation, a challenging project. These things bombard the mind immediately upon waking, and before long, fear, worry, and negativity take control. But Dr. Yonggi Cho emphasized that we have authority over our minds through prayer and faith. The moment you begin your day by speaking God's word and aligning your heart with His promises, you are taking command of your thoughts. You are declaring that your mind will not be a battlefield for fear, doubt, or anxiety, but a kingdom of victory, peace, and divine guidance. Shaping your mindset for victory begins with intentionality. You cannot afford to drift into the day unconsciously, reacting to events as they happen. Instead, you must anchor your thoughts in truth, faith, and hope. Dr. Yonggi Cho often instructed his followers to speak life into their circumstances first thing in the morning, to declare that they would overcome challenges, succeed in their endeavors, and experience God's favor. When you consistently practice this, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to automatically filter out negativity and focus on solutions, opportunities, and blessings. Think about it. How many times have you felt overwhelmed by a situation, only to realize later that it was your mindset that amplified the difficulty? Dr. Yonggi Cho taught that our mental perspective shapes our reality. When you start your day claiming victory through prayer, you are not just hoping for success, you are positioning yourself to recognize it, receive it, and act in alignment with it. You are programming your mind for excellence, alertness, and resilience. Challenges that might have seemed insurmountable before suddenly become manageable because your mindset has shifted from fear to faith. Another crucial aspect of shaping your mindset is gratitude. Dr. Yonggi Cho emphasized beginning each day by thanking God for His provision, His protection, and His presence. Gratitude is a powerful spiritual exercise that recalibrates the mind. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you develop a perspective of abundance and confidence. Your thoughts become proactive rather than reactive. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a leader of your own life, equipped to navigate challenges with wisdom and calm. Prayer plays a pivotal role in this process. When you speak to God in the morning, you are not only asking for guidance or blessings, you are inviting divine power to shape your mental state. You are reinforcing the truth that God's promises are greater than any problem, His wisdom is greater than any confusion, and His strength is greater than any weakness. Dr. Yonggi Cho often reminds people that the mind and spirit are connected. A strong, faith-filled mind leads to a victorious life, and a defeated mind leads to struggle and stagnation. By shaping your mindset through morning prayer, you are actively creating the conditions for success in every area of your life. Victory is not accidental. It is not determined by luck, chance, or random circumstance. It is determined by preparation, by discipline, and by the intentional alignment of your mind with God's truth. Every morning, when you pray, speak life, and claim God's promises, you are laying the foundation for victory. You are preparing yourself mentally to respond to challenges with courage, to approach opportunities with clarity, and to move forward with confidence. Your thoughts, which might once have been scattered or negative, are now focused, disciplined, and empowered. Shaping your mindset for victory is also contagious. The energy and faith you carry from the morning spill over into every interaction, decision, and action. Others notice your confidence, your calm, and your clarity. You influence your environment, and doors begin to open that were once closed. Dr. Yonggi Cho taught that a victorious mindset attracts blessings, favor, and divine intervention. When you consistently start your day in prayer, claiming victory, and focusing your mind on God's promises, you are not just changing your thoughts. You are changing the course of your entire life. Success, peace, and breakthrough are rarely the result of a single effort or a fleeting moment of inspiration. Dr. David Yonggi Cho taught that the true power of transformation lies in consistency, the daily intentional habit of aligning your heart, mind, and spirit with God. Consistency in prayer, consistency in faith, and consistency in action are what separate those who live ordinary lives from those who experience extraordinary blessings. It is not what we do once in a while that shapes our destiny. It is what we do every day that determines the trajectory of our life. When you wake up each morning and commit to starting your day with prayer, you are establishing a rhythm that cultivates spiritual strength, mental clarity, and emotional stability. This daily habit creates a foundation that cannot be shaken by stress, fear, or unexpected challenges. Dr. Yonggi Cho often compared consistency to planting seeds. Each prayer, each declaration of faith, each moment spent aligning with God is a seed that grows quietly over time. And just like a farmer patiently tending the soil, those who practice spiritual consistency eventually reap the abundant harvest of peace, wisdom, and success. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think that only grand gestures or dramatic breakthroughs can change their lives. But Dr. Yonggi Cho's teachings reveal the opposite. The small daily practice of connecting with God is what produces lasting transformation. One morning of prayer may not feel life-changing, but the cumulative effect of hundreds of mornings spent in faith is undeniable. Your perspective shifts, your spirit strengthens, and your ability to navigate life's challenges grows exponentially. The seemingly ordinary act of daily prayer becomes extraordinary in its impact over time. Consistency also trains your mind. When you establish the habit of starting each day with focused prayer, your mind learns to anticipate clarity, peace, and guidance at the very beginning of every day. Instead of waking up to fear, worry, or confusion, you wake up expecting God's presence, provision, and direction. Dr. Yonggi Cho emphasized that the mind is a powerful tool that shapes our reality. By consistently reinforcing faith-filled thoughts and affirming God's promises, you are programming your mind to perceive opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems, and hope instead of despair. Another remarkable aspect of consistency is how it builds resilience. Life will always bring challenges, setbacks, and difficulties. But those who maintain the habit of morning prayer and spiritual alignment develop the resilience to face adversity without being overwhelmed. Dr. Yonggi Cho often spoke about the storms of life, situations that appear impossible to overcome. He taught that those who have cultivated daily spiritual disciplines are able to navigate these storms with calm, wisdom, and strength. The consistent habit of seeking God's guidance and claiming His promises fortifies your spirit, making you unshakable in the face of trials. Consistency also creates momentum. Every morning that you dedicate to prayer and faith adds to a chain of spiritual victories. The benefits accumulate silently, often without immediate visible results, but over time, they compound into transformative change. Your perspective becomes more focused, your spirit more empowered, and your life more aligned with God's plan. Dr. Yonggi Cho reminded his followers that consistency in small things produces excellence in great things. By consistently starting your day with God, you are laying the groundwork for breakthroughs in your relationships, career, finances, and personal growth. Furthermore, consistency teaches discipline. Life is full of distractions, temptations, and excuses. It is easy to skip a day, to delay prayer, or to allow stress and busyness to take priority. But when you commit to a daily habit, you are training yourself to rise above distractions and remain faithful to your purpose. Dr. Yonggi Cho emphasized that spiritual discipline is a cornerstone of success. Just as athletes achieve greatness through daily practice and training, those who achieve spiritual, mental, and personal victories do so through consistent daily alignment with God. Finally, consistency is a declaration of trust. Each morning that you choose to start your day with prayer, you are saying to God, I trust you to guide me today. I believe your word. I receive your promises. This repeated declaration strengthens your faith, anchors your spirit, and communicates to the universe that you are committed to living a life of victory. Dr. Yonggi Cho's life is a testimony to the power of consistent spiritual practice. His mornings were filled with prayer, his life was filled with purpose, and the miracles that followed were a result of faithful, daily devotion. When you embrace the habit of consistent morning prayer, you are not just performing a routine, you are cultivating a lifestyle that transforms your entire being. You are shaping your thoughts, strengthening your spirit, and opening yourself to divine guidance and provision. Each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce your faith, claim God's promises, and align with His plan. The habit of consistency may seem small, but its impact is monumental, creating momentum that will carry you toward victory, abundance, and a life filled with purpose. As we bring this message to a close, I want you to feel the weight and the power of what we've just explored. Every morning is a new battlefield, a blank canvas, and a fresh opportunity. When you choose to start your day with God, when you break struggles before they take hold, when you claim His promises through faith, when you shape your mind for victory, and when you commit to consistency, you are no longer living by chance. You are living by divine design. This is your moment to rise above fear,